Joining us live now are the father and son on that tape. A judge has ordered them to have no contact, so we've kept them separate this morning. Jake Struthers is here with his mom, Kimberly, and their attorney, John Trevina. His dad, Scott, joins us from another studio. And Scott, let me begin with you. I've now watched that tape, I think, 3 times, and I actually could not imagine what would be going through your mind when you're saying, take his eyes out, smash his head on the sidewalk.
I understand that, and when I see that video too, I'm just disgusted at the things I said. But what everybody doesn't know, and what transpired 6 months prior to that, what led up to that incident is threats to my son, vulgar, just comments said on Facebook and other social media sites, texting. All that time, but that video doesn't show.
Sir, I understand the video doesn't show that, but smash his head on the sidewalk, that boy could have been killed.
You know, when that happened, things happened quickly, and the emotions that overwhelmed me, it was just caught up in the moment. I absolutely regret saying those things. And I want everybody to know that nobody was hurt in that fight. They weren't hurt. I do want everybody to know that what that tape doesn't show is that they ended the fight. I asked the other boy, was all this prior the 6 months of threats and torment, was it over? He said it was over. The boys shook hands. The other boys left on their way. And I could tell my son, and he decided that was the only way that boy was going to go. He wasn't going away.
And Jake, what do you think when you see that tape now?
Well, I know that he did was wrong, and like what he was saying was all through emotion and stuff like that, but he was just looking out for me, like making sure no one else would jump in the fight. Like, I could see where he was coming from, but
that's one of the things that strikes me about this whole thing. This fight was all set up. It was all choreographed. This wasn't something where everybody got taken over in the heat of the moment. At least that's the way it seems. How did it happen?
Well, it was like all in the moment. Like, I came home from school and he was in my front yard, so I came outside and there was a bunch of kids there, and I guess one of them just started to catch it on tape.
But you guys clearly got yourself prepared for a fight.
Well, yeah, like I knew he was coming over, and I knew like it was going to happen either way. But I didn't want it to happen, so I just... And
Kimberly, your husband talked about the months of bullying and taunting and all that going on in Facebook, but why not go to the school? Why not go to the police? Why not go to the other boys' parents?
Our previous situations with this type of events happening with bullying, we found that the schools just seem to make the matters worse. There doesn't seem to be any anonymity with going in and discussing these things, so it gets back to the perpetrators of the problems.
You had gone in for other incidents?
Yes, and it just made the situations worse. Prior, times that we've been into the school, they went away. We've always told Jake, this too will go away just like it's gone away before, and just ignore it. You're not going to fight. We always say, everybody knows I always comment about Jake being a lover, not a fighter. He's a very sensitive
And you say
kid.
You've never been in a fight before? Look like you could take care of yourself out there. Yeah. But never been in a fight before?
Never. First one.
He's never been in trouble.
So what's going on at school with all this bullying, and why couldn't this be resolved in another way?
I think it would have just got back to the kids, and they would have just made a bigger deal out of it, like me going to the parents and the school. Like, I just don't think anything would have changed from it.
John, your client's now been accused of child abuse. What are you going to do about the charges?
Well, it's our hope that the felony child abuse charge will be dropped. We just don't see from a legal perspective how that kind of a criminal charge can be maintained under these facts. Remember, no one was injured. My client...
But you acknowledge that someone could have been badly hurt in that incident.
Could have, yes. But the reality is no one was. And my client never laid hands on anyone. It's strictly verbal in nature. So the question becomes, and I mean, it brings in a whole host of issues, First Amendment issues, self-defense issues, all types of things. But the bottom line is Mr. Struthers, the father, never laid hands on anyone. It's all verbal. And is that really sufficient?
But you agree that inciting violence can be a crime?
It can. It certainly can, especially if it's in the form of trying to incite a riot or an affray or something like that. But no one invited everyone to this residence for a fight. This was something that just happened and really happened through the social media sites.
But Scott, and you get the last word here. I know you've said what you did was wrong. What would you like to say to the other boy this morning?
You know, we don't want to judge anybody. We're just looking for some normalcy in our life, and I apologize for what I said, but I do stand behind protecting my son.
Okay, well, thank you all for coming in this morning.